At the moment, we assume that everything is going to work, that we're never getting any error here. But of course, in reality, we could be getting an error. So therefore, besides checking this loading state, I also want to check whether we get data. And because we might not get an error and still not get any data, for example, if we got no data here on Firebase, if I delete all of that, then we can send a successful request, but it will get an empty response because there is no data to be loaded. So we want to handle that. And thereafter, I also want to handle real errors where the server times out, we have a server-side error, or anything like that. But let's start with the no data case. We are setting our data here to the results, and in the end, handling the no data case is easy. We'll simply not be able to loop through any data here, and therefore results will stay an empty array. So in this case, we should check not just if we're loading or not, but here, with else if maybe, I want to check if we're not loading, but that we do have data where the length is greater than 0. If length is equal to 0, it's an empty array, and that simply means we have no data. And of course, it's not data, but results. So if results length is greater than 0, we could also add an extra check and check if we have a truthy results value before we try diving into the length. Here we'll always have results, but in other apps that might not even be set if you fail to load data. Hence, checking this as well could make sense. And then here we could add another paragraph where we say no stored experiences found. Start adding some survey results first. And I want to show this paragraph if, or the else if, we're not loading, but we don't have results, or, and therefore that should go between brackets so that these two statements are evaluated together, or we do have results, but the length is equal to 0. So if we're not loading, but we don't have results, or our results length is equal to 0, then I want to show this no stored experiences found text. Otherwise, I'll check this and show my actual results. And if we save that and reload, we see loading and then our no data message. If I start submitting data though, and I then load the submitted experiences, we see that works. So now we're handling the no data case. But what about real errors?